'68, my dad moved here. My sister was here tonight, getting a degree in art at UC, and so family overrode the greatest view in North America, and moved here. And that summer, because I ran summer track meets up in Buffalo. My dad, we went to the one here in Western Hills. We met Don Wally. He needed some help at Thanksgiving. So that is history. Here I am, 1,200 races later. That same fall, I started Indian Hill. I was very lucky. I got a teaching job, head cross-country assistant track. That's exactly what I wanted. And I got it, spent my whole career there. Didn't leave. Then that fall, he mentioned Carol. Carol, I'm going to tell the story again. On a Friday night, she wasn't even going to go out. She went to her girlfriend took her to a dance. I looked across the crowded room, saw this cute girl. She's laughing with her friends, so I figured she wasn't on antidepressants. I figured I'd marry her if she didn't have any warrants out for arrest or anything. So I met her, spent the evening with her. Sarah took her to a movie, Finian's Rainbow Saturday. Sunday, wanted to see her again, took her to dinner. After dinner, I asked her to marry me. She said, sure. This is what good Catholic girls from the West Side, from Mercy. But the best part, Carol's in a carpool with 4 other girls. I remember Friday, she left them off. She wasn't even going out. Monday, around the car, Carol, how was your weekend? Well, I'm getting married. So we didn't tell her mom. Her mom didn't hear that story the last year. So then Carol, at the time, working at P&G. Little did I know that typing 60 words a minute, including numbers, would come in handy. Okay. And a couple of Carol's famous quotes. We'd done about 10 races, and I said, Carol, we got to start counting these. She says, oh no, we're not going to be doing this for long. So, and she was typing our times, and you remember the old stencils. I'm Xing things out. It was too difficult to erase something. And when Carol saw me doing that, she's from P&G. She says, you can't do that. Let me do that. I said, oh, great. So she's been typing ever since. Andy mentioned entries coming in envelopes. Literally, she typed every single name, address, and we could tell when people, in those days, you could tell when people were starting to date because the entries would come in together. Here comes Joan, and I'd be down in the office, hey, Carol, look, Joe and Joan are dating. Okay. We knew it was serious, though, when the female started writing out the check for both entries. In the, our kids went to races. We'd seatbelt them in. That was before the car seats, BC. You know what car seats are? Those space capsules that take 2 days to install and are incremented in 1 ounce increments. Yes. But anyway, we put a dozen Hostess donuts between the 2 kids in the back seat. Took them to the car. We got to relive this on the way over. It's been a long time since I had 2 of them in the back seat, harassing me. They threatened to call the child abuse number on me. I can't see what's wrong with getting up at 4 o'clock on a Saturday morning with me whistling Reveille and taking them to a race. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. My daughter Amy over there at Finneytown, a summer track meet, the 200. She said, Dad, I'm not going to run it. I said, why not? She says, I can't see the finish line. I'm thinking, it's around the curve. It's right over there. God, you can't get lost. So I said, okay. And so from that point on, all fun runs, the kids have been able to see the turnaround. Okay, I said, I'm never again going to have a fun run where they can't see it. And speaking of fun runs, in the 50s, this is what it was like in the 50s in my little Mayberry town. My dad one night at the local playground, he took a steel tape, and there was an abandoned sandbox, and he's measuring long jumps for the kids in the park. They're just lined up 20 deep. You know, he's measuring long jumps for 2 hours. Okay, this is life in the 50s. Okay, we had to make our own fun. My son Brian over there. Okay, He and his third grade teacher asked him, he says, what does your dad do for a living? And he says, he goes to the races. It took about a year to clear. I'm sure it's still rumbling around the lounge. A couple of notables here I want to mention. Don Wally, I don't know if Don made it tonight, but there he is. Okay, Don. Don is visually impaired, and I read track and field news to him, so I can't read it unless I read it to him. So, but watching Don put down lime at the Thanksgiving Day race back in the late '60s, there was no volunteers, there was no water stop, there was nothing. It was just lime. And Don ran the race. He limed the course. Barry Binkley. Barry, I know you're here. Team Kentucky. Team Kentucky, he thinks he helped me for so many years. Great coach, still officiating, involved at all levels. And Barry, by the way, we tied for Coach of the Year in '71, okay? I want to know why you didn't vote for me. Bill Hart, Bill's here somewhere. He's been my finish shoot designer for over 40 years. There he is. Bill, another 10 years, and you get that gold Timex, I promise you. His wife Martha has timed all of you many times. Andy and Mark, Wolf and family have worked with me off and on. My best Andy story, there's several of them. Tennessee McDonald's. Andy's wearing his Anderson High School orange and black jacket with his current mustache. Kid comes up to him and says, are you Kenny Anderson? Andy says, sure, do you want me to sign something? Kid went to the car to get a football. I mean, it was crazy. He mentioned Ben Groke and his son Kyle Wolf. They're both working under my tutelage, and we're hoping someday they'll take this thing over. Okay, I'm gonna be 70 next year, so I gotta move on sometime. My orange hat, you know that? That's to identify me, because when there's problems, they say, "Where's Don?" Okay, and so they can find me. My day planner is my clipboard with sheets of paper on it. I think it was the original iPad of paper. Never mind, I thought that would go over. Okay. I instituted safety bikers on watching you out on the course, and walker age group. Currently I have about 100 people a year that call me for, about 50, 60 people a year call for new races. It's incredible. And plus I talk to others just about the way things happen. Interesting resident hall, those who did the mini up on Torrance. This little old lady lives up there. And one year I purchased the music. She called the police and wanted to know if we couldn't play more classical music. When they asked the guy at Thanksgiving, called one year, he says, "Are you gonna have that music again?" He says, "Yeah, if you are, I'm gonna shoot you." And I spent the morning next to the police. Big thanks to all the volunteers over the years that have really helped out. And all the volunteers had that enviable, different colored shirt. I know you runners, you just don't like the shirt we give you if you see a volunteer in a purple one or something. Okay. And a little housekeeping. World champs are coming up. I think Marianne Ronker, you get credit for this. I got an iPad so I can get into the next century. Tunnel Bear is an app that allows you to trick the BBC into thinking you're logging in from London. And you can watch the World Championships on the BBC over there without commercial. It's great. Photon, by the way. Photon is another app that allows you to use Flash Player for those of you that have Apple products. And I would encourage you all, lastly, to think back to your high school or college and maybe give back. Whether when I volunteer for Andy, I'm just paying back all those officials. And last year I bought 2 javelins for my alma mater. I just called the coach, said, "You need something?" He said, "Yeah, we can use 2 javelins." Okay, I'll take care of that. I just like to give back to the sport. I appreciate it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. The Lifetime Achievement Award does not mean that you're allowed to stop now, though. Okay, it's not over. Don't stop doing what you do. Our next inductee, it comes as a pair, brothers, John and Joe Saunders, and they will be introduced by Coach Bill Schneer.
Thanks so much, Andy. It's nice to be here today. I'm so glad everyone took the time to come to this event today. The only thing I can say is you've done yourself a great favor. It's going to be a real uplifting day for track and field. Congratulations to all the honorees today. Certainly a worthy group, and I must say, Don, I really enjoyed your talk. I didn't realize you're so funny. And had I known that, I would have come up with something more funny myself, but I haven't, so let's try to live with that. I did notice that he's put on 1,200 races. That's a lot, and I think I entered your line about race 200 or 300, so that's where I come in. But today, I thought we were going to have 5 inductees to the Hall of Fame, but instead we're going to have 6. But 2 of them are brothers. On the one hand, they are going to be inducted separately because they deserved separate recognition. But on the other hand, they're going to be inducted together because as brothers, they're inseparable. As athletes, they're inseparable. And as friends, they're also inseparable. They're the Saunders brothers from Glendale, Ohio, from Glendale High School. And first, there's Joe Saunders, a 1937 graduate of Glendale. He's the older. He's the taller. He was mostly the sprinter. The second is John, or Junior Saunders, a year behind. The younger, the shorter, more the hurdler, more the long jumper.